Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Kelly, also known as Calsters.
And today is Sunday, December 11th, 2016. This is episode 271. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more week. And if you're new, hopefully you enjoy today's show and you'll come back in the future. Speaking of coming back, we're back in our original locale, at least, well, in this house.
Yeah.
You go back to way episodes back. We were back in my old house, but I just figured it was time for a little bit of a change, and now that we record using an iPad, we're mobile, and we record on the weekends, and my leading man needs time to work on dyeing yarn, and when we're down in the dining room, he can't really do that without making noise. So we decided to come back up to my office and record up here so that he could do his things and we could be up here, and it was like riding a bike again, having to get all situated with the new technology and everything. But
and new chair.
Yeah, I got a new accent chair. You might notice that it may match my accent wall, and I thought maybe I would use it as my office chair. It's nice wide bottom and comfy, no arms, so you can be free range of motion. But it doesn't have the best back support for me, and if I'm sitting in it long term, it doesn't really support me in the back that much. So, and plus I figured it's white, and if I'm sitting in it every single day and whatnot and eating or drinking, like, something's gonna happen. So I was like, we'll just leave it a nice pristine chair that I can throw stuff on and have Callie use now that we're recording up here. So anyway, side tangent done. Let's give you a quick recap for our last 2 weeks. It's chilly here in central Illinois. We are supposed to be on kind of the polar vortex version 2.0 coming this week, I've heard. So there's a chance of freezing rain today. There was a little dusting of snow last night, but overall I'd say the weather's better than they anticipated, so that's good. But it's chilly. Been busy with school, wrapping things up. We've got 1 more week of school and 2 days of finals, so I'll be spending half this week prepping my kids for finals and giving them time to study and things like that. Last Saturday was Hand-Dyed Holiday at our local yarn store, Les Moutons Rouge Knittery in Bloomington, Illinois, and we were there, Leading Men Fiber Arts. I'm sorry, I'm having one of those lazy, hazy days, if you know what I mean. Leading Men Fiber Arts was there with our trunk show, and it stayed for a week, so I think things went really well. There were several of you who stopped by. Thank you so very much for saying hi. And I went to open knitting yesterday and relaxed and knit, and then Andy came and met me with the trailer, and we packed up all of the yarn and went out to dinner with the store owner, Kelly. We had some Thai food. It was really good. And other than that, we've been dealing with a lot of stress with getting our house sited, and companies feigning ignorance when this is what they do. They're a large company and they feign that they don't know anything, which is just ridiculous. And I think they are feigning in ignorance in order to try to save some money, and we're calling them out on it. So it's been interesting. Our house looks...
It's not as bad as you think.
No, it isn't. It's not as bad as... It's just a lot of, it's been insulated. So the windows have been wrapped for the most part. They're not completely done yet. So this next week they're going to be putting the siding on, and I'm excited to see that. So, man, I don't know how those guys do it. It is cold and they're out there, so... But I know they haven't been doing like full days because it's been so cold, which is perfectly fine and understandable. So that's pretty much been my past 2 weeks. A little bit of stress, a little bit of yarny goodness, and a lot of work. So, you, me lady?
Last weekend I taught a treasurer's workshop for my job, and it went really well. I have 5 kiddos. I would say that it is very interesting to see. Someone usually teaches this workshop, but I stepped in because that person retired. And it was very interesting because she said to me, prior to her retiring, she said, just so you know, no kid knows how to write a check. And that's alarming because if you're a treasurer of your 4-H club, you're going to be writing checks. Because, at least in the state of Illinois, I'm sure that other states that have 4-H programs run a similar system, but our 4-H clubs are not allowed to have a debit card. And very few of them have access to online banking. Most of our clubs still receive statements because that's part of the learning of that. So it's very interesting. Not only that kids did not know how to write checks, but they also didn't know how to spell numbers correctly. So it was very interesting, but the kids got through it, and I am happy that, because I'm the one that gets to deal with all of this at the end of the year when they have to turn in their reports and things like that. So if I've got 5 people that at least know what they're doing, I'm all about that. So that's 5 clubs I don't necessarily have to super worry about per se. But I'm very excited. It was great to work with them. The reviews on my session was really positive, so that was good. And then I went to Hand-Dyed Holidays, and that was good. And then Steve and I went to the florist next door, and you got a beautiful bouquet, or arrangement, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And I got carnations, and those are doing well. So after that, then this week has been kind of just crazy. I actually got really sick on Thursday, and I did not come into work. Friday I was not feeling so great, but I went in, did what I needed to, and then left for the rest of the day. And yesterday was actually the first day that I was not sick, and it's been 24 hours now, so I'm really excited about that. But this week coming up, Monday and Tuesday are going to go like planned. I have a doctor's appointment on Tuesday that I'm not super looking forward to. But Wednesday and Thursday, we have the startup planning project. So we are working with a bunch of other counties, and if we had a dream budget and things like that, what we would do in collab efforts. So that's going to be interesting. And then Fridays are staff holiday party, volunteering, things like that. So really kind of a breezy week this week, and the next week most people are going to be gone because they're going to take some vacation days, and I'm just going to work up till the last of it because exciting news, U of I provided 3 extra days that we did not have to provide vacation or work for. So I'm really excited about that.
That's good.
Yeah. So that's all that I have.
Well, let's show you what's on the needles. Let's show you what's off the needles, what's taking a bow. I'm ruining Callie's Christmas gift, but she's already seen it.
Yeah.
But I've finished it. So I finished my exclusive socks. These were knit out of Opal Classics in color number 9067, which is the exclusive colorway. And it is size 1 US 2.25 millimeter needles. And they're not officially blocked yet, but they're on blockers. So here they are. Sorry if you can hear any background noise. You probably can't, but the wind is blowing fairly fierce outside, so... And I might have a little bit of Tyvek nailed to the side of my house that sounds like, flapping paper on the side of my house. Anyway, so I also used a contrasting cuff, heel, and toes, which is Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper Intermission in the Rubber Ducky colorway. So I'm really happy with these.
Yes.
And I hope Callie will love them. I'm going to block them and actually wrap them. Maybe with something else, I don't know. No, really, I don't know. She's going to be like, but where's that something else when she opens a gift? I'm like, no, I said I didn't know. So.
I really like these a lot.
Yeah, even Andy said, I think it was Andy. Was it Andy? Oh, yeah. He saw them last night. He's like, I do like the yellow pop on those. So. I
have Steve socks done, but I did not bring them because I've already washed and blocked and wrapped them, so...
She's on point with her holiday games.
Although Andy is seriously on point. Downstairs, there is more presents underneath the tree than I even have purchased.
Yeah, and he's like, we're not done yet. We haven't even done toys for the niece and nephew. done our clothes shopping for them, and I've got a few other knitwear items I need to pull out. He just wanted to, he started yesterday, he's like, I just want to wrap everything that we can and get it done, because he always waits till like
midnight.
Or like the morning we're gonna leave to drive to Indiana for his family. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, well, we gotta wrap this before we can go. So he's like, I just want to get it done and over with. And he actually is, for as a stickler as my mom is about wrapping and teaching me how to wrap, I wrap with crap. And so he does a really good job with doing it. So
cool.
That's that. And that's all that I have thinking about.
I only have a hoe, but I think it's a classy hoe. It is, these are my mom's Christmas socks. These are opal in one of their rainforest colorways, but it's in the Schnooky colorway, and it means darling or sweetie pie bird. I thought this was really interesting to work with. I really enjoyed the striping effect and everything. They're a tad bit, they're not like super tight, but Mom said the toe is a little bit funky, but she said that she can wear them as house slipper, like house socks, and feel good about that. So I'm all about that, and I might actually switch it up because I usually have been doing an afterthought heel, and this time I did a heel flap and gusset, and I think I did really well. But the pattern that I used, this is the pattern that I learned how to knit socks on, so I didn't necessarily think for myself a whole lot. So I think there's going to be some modifications on the second sock, but I do like it. Mom likes it. Yeah, and Steve says it looks like a dirty rocket pop.
I said a grungy rocket pop.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't say dirty, but here, I'll put it. There you go. Yay! Yeah. One sock done. One to go. All right, let's talk about what's performing this week. The first thing for me is my Rogers-esque cardigan jacket by Mary Townsend. I'm using Barocco Weekend DK in color number 2144, which is squash. And Andy's searing some meat downstairs for dinner.
Hopefully it's me.
Yeah, no, he's making beef and noodles for dinner, and we're having my mom and sister over, so. I finished the back, guys. This is the largest swath of cloth. So, and again, it looks really, it's rolling in because it's all stockinette. I mean, look how much it's rolling in. There's the armhole. It's got a little bit of shaping up at the top. You can't really tell, but that was a big old back. And then I just started, this is my third ball, and I just started the front, the right front, and it has stockinette on one side, which is where you put the button band, and I'm doing a little bit of ribbing, and then I will go up needle sizes again. So this is using size 3 and size 5 US, which is a 3.25 and 3.75 millimeter needles. Excuse me, hi there. Dropped my size 5 on the floor and don't want the dogs to find that. Alright, the next thing for me is 14 Karat by Michelle Hunter. I'm using Madeline Tosh Sock in the Dust Weaver colorway on size 7 US 4.5 millimeter needles. And I finished the third repeat of 14 that I have to do yesterday while at Open Knitting after I finished Callie's socks. So this is going to be for Andy's mom, probably for her birthday in April. So it's got the diamond motif. It is curling a little bit, but I hope it will black out. And then it continues with the diamond up the side. And then again, it's folded and seamed so that you have a head hole. It will be a poncho. So, but really, really loving the subtleness of the colors. And a lot of the ladies at knitting yesterday were talking about how, you could pretty much wear brown, black, white, purple, pink. Like, it's going to pick up really any color you wear with it.
Yeah. Navy would look good with that.
Mm-hmm. So it's just, I hope it'll be a really versatile piece and she'll actually wear it. I think she will, but I hope because it's so versatile, she'll wear it more than not. The next thing for me is I cast on a boomerang while I was at knitting last week. And I've got to move some stuff around because I forgot to take stuff out of the bin. So
It was a lot of fun at the hand-dyed holidays last week. It was great to see a lot of different people come in, and it was great to see all of the stuff Kelly had come in, because like there's a lot of temptation, no joke. Like I felt my paycheck going away, and then I get paid again this week, so I feel like some of it may be going back to Kelly.
I was pretty good last week. I bought one thing, and then I was good this week, so I need to be. Anyway, I thought I'd show you this bag because, you know, it's festive, and I don't have a whole lot of festive bags. This is from Art and Stitch Toot on Etsy, and it's the Stashing Through the Snow. I figure I really only get 1 month to use this. I couldn't break it out till December 1st, so. And of course, I'm in the middle of a row. But I worked on this at the show, and then I work on it while I'm rescanning. So this is Lady Men Fiber Arts Showstopper in the Acid Trip colorway, which is our December colorway of the month. We had pre-orders open through the 8th, and then they closed. But you can always put in a custom order or just watch for it to be updated in the shop. I'm using a size 6 US, which is a 4mm, and they're my new Knitter's Pride Melodies of Life interchangeable set, which are the Knit Pro Zings, but US version. And here's how it's knitting up. So I love me a good boomerang. It was too long since I knit my last one. I know Callie does hers on a 3 or a 4. I just love the drape of a 6. So I'm not sure who this will go to. I just figured I'd knit up the sample, and I'd be able to take a swatch photo to put on listings when we sell this yarn. And I don't know, I thought somebody I watch podcast-wise says shocker, they love pink, and I can't remember who it is off the top of my head that I'm thinking of. But then I was like, I think Callie might like this color, and it would look good against her navy coat, and I'm like, I don't know.
I think there's someone in mind that I think would love that, and I'll share it with you after the podcast.
Okay. So that's going, and then the last thing I'm working on, I cast on last night, and I have a hoe. I decided I'm going to knit our niece and nephew mittens using scraps that I have. So I cast on last night and finished this morning the first of the world's simplest mitten pattern by Tin Can Knits. This was just released a couple weeks ago, and it is super simple. And it comes in anything from toddler all the way up to 3 adult sizes. So I'm doing the child. That's what Andy said he thought would work. Child's just above toddler, even though I think our niece is 2.5. I still think she'll be able to grow into these. So this is the first mitten, and this is Lady Men Fiber Arts Box Office, and this is glow stick for the cuff and long stocking for the mitten.
I love that.
I think it's so cute. And the pattern you can use fingering, DK, worsted, or chunky, and there's numbers for every size. It's super easy to follow, and it's free.
Isn't that great about Tin Can Knits? I mean, like, honestly, so versatile,
Yeah.
Use what you got.
So, I haven't done a mitten in a good long while, so I thought this was super quick, and I should be able to, next time I work through my rotation of projects, I'll knit the second one, and then I'll be on to my nephew's, which is the body's going to be black. I have a lot of this Barocco vintage. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do cuffs. I was going to do cuffs out of the glow stick again, and then I thought about maybe putting glow stick, a little long stocking glow stick, and then black. But it depends on how many scraps I have, and I don't know how long those are going to last me. So I also have another Crafty Girls scraps that I might use, but I don't know. I wanted something a little bit more bright and vibrant. So we'll see. So that's all that I'm working on.
Cool. The only thing I'm really actively working on, besides my mom's second sock, and I haven't cast that on yet, is a hat for my dad. So for those of you playing along, I knit my dad the same hat, mind you. It's the Be Kind hat, and it's a paid-for pattern on Ravelry, and I can't remember who wrote it off the top of my head. But 2 years ago, because I looked in my project notes, because back then I was like super on that, and there's
Not
no
so much anymore.
No, there's not.
Nope. What did I text you yesterday?
You
You do you, boo-boo.
I wonder who you got that from. But anywho, So I knit this hat for my dad 2 years ago for Christmas, and it took me 20 days to knit it. And after I did some calculations, I was like, no, this is gonna be done super quick. Hopefully. So I knit this hat 2 years ago, and my dad wore it and wore it and wore it until about I think it was March or April. So mind you, from December to March or April, my dad is a mowing fiend. So he was mowing, and he ducked underneath one of the branches on one of our trees in our yard, and it caught. And then because the hat was green and the grass was green, he mowed over it. And so I said, nope, not again. We're not doing this again. And then he's whined about it, and I finally have broken down. He said, well, I don't want anything like real bright color, because I'm thinking like I'm gonna make this safety red. Like there's safety orange.
I've got a safety orange.
I was like, I'm gonna make this super bright, because no matter what happens, if he has to mow it over, or it falls in the mowing process, it's gonna be so devilishly bright that he will be like, oh, I gotta stop the mower. And so I showed him the red that I wanted to use, and he said, nope, not doing that. I would accept a hat. And these are the three choices I got: green, navy blue, or charcoal. And I said, okay. I'm not doing another green hat, so I'm doing it in Cascade 220 in their charcoal color. And he also said go down the hat size, so I did. And I also went down in needle size too, because I thought it was a little too if I would have knitted, I think it would have on my gauge from 2 years ago, I thought it was going to be a little too loose, because I've tightened up a little bit. So I'm knitting the ribbing on the bottom in size 5 US, and then I'm going to knit the top portion of it in a size 7 US. And I'm knitting these, I haven't talked about this, but I'm knitting these on Knit Picks rosewood needles. I bought the interchangeable set. I tried them at the Try It On room at SSK this year. For those of you that don't know, I'm highly allergic to everything but gold and silver, so I see at some point that I'm gonna be allergic to my knitting needles. I don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, but I kind of I have the money to invest in this set, so and I really like them. They're not kind of like, they don't have that clicky sound, smooth join. I just really enjoy these, so I will probably be pulling these out a little bit more to use them, because it does feel good on my hands. And I think that's, subject to everyone's like and dislike of wood needles, but I really do like these. So
good.
That's all I'm actively working on right now.
Awesome. Behind the scenes, what am I spinning? Well, thanks to my new e-spinner, I wrapped up the second 2 ounces of the Gales Art Mix BFL had no colorway name. I called it Desert Rose. I thought of a better name after I spun it, but whatever. I can't remember it now, so it couldn't have been all that much better, right? But I applied it, and it had absolutely no extra twist into it. It was perfect. I don't think it's like applied as tightly as I would apply on my old wheel. Now I've increased the speed a little bit for this new fiber that I'm spinning, because I think it's going to be a little bit thicker than what I'm doing now. But anyway, so the Gales Art Mix BFL in Desert Rose. I have another skein I'm going to be spinning of this in the future. But I got 300 and... oh my god, these notes are so small. I'm getting old and I can't read things that are that far away. 350 yards of a 2-ply, I'd say heavy fingering weight. I don't think I'd call it too much of a sport weight. So, and there it is.
It's very pretty.
So, I didn't fractal spin this, because I forgot with the second 2 ounces. I got too excited to spin on my e-spinner, and I forgot to split it into 3s. So, yeah.
Very cool.
So I have to wash that and then tag it, and it'll wait for its mate. But next up on the wheel is some more Christmas gifts for Callie. She picked up this fiber at SSK this last summer, and it is the first draft Polworth in the, how do you say it?
I don't know what she called it, but I affectionately have called it Nickelodeon Guts.
And it's spelled like anemone, or is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, anemone, but you told me that it's not said that way, so I don't know. It's purple and green. That's all it is. Long stretches of purple, long stretches of green. And so I'm fractally spinning this because Callie requested barber pulling galore. I'm spinning it a little thicker because Polworth is so springy and cush that I just figured I think the colors would really pop, especially since there's two colors. When you spin thinner, the colors kind of muddy a little bit more and mute out, and I thought it'd be really nice to have that pop of green against the purple when it is barber pulled, and I figured she could do like a nice hat or mitts or anything if I get like a DK worsted weight. We'll see what I get. I kind of just let the fiber speak to me, and what it ends up being, and Callie knew that when she bought it, so.
Yep. I'm super pumped. Like, I'm definitely a 90s kid, like Nickelodeon all the way. So when I saw that, I was like, yes, that is true. Nickelodeon Guts colors.
By the way, did you see they have a movie of, what's that game they used to play? I used to watch it.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a new movie of that coming out. All right. So that's my spinning. All right. Let's talk about what's in the spotlight. What are we watching and reading? I did finish a book and I forgot to write it down. Let me see if it's in my phone real quick. But I am watching. We finished Westworld. The first season's over. Enjoyed it. I'll be interested to see what happens with season 2. They left you off with the cliffhanger. Whether they have a season 2, we'll see. I think it did pretty well. So I'm trying to slowly but surely get caught up with Walking Dead, but I'm a little bit behind. So there's always that.
Would you like me to go ahead?
Go ahead with what you're watching, yeah. Sorry.
So I have been catching up on Hawaii Five-0, and I watched, as this will come to no surprise for anyone that has watched the show for a while, E has a mini-series on Mariah Carey, like a day in the life of Mariah Carey. I'm not going to say that this show surprised me by any means. I think that it's different if you're kind of like not a fan and you watch it, because you might grab some kind of, I don't know, viewpoint. But I think like if you really are a fan, like this is not surprising at all. Like you kind of knew this is kind of how she is, and kind of, this is how she runs her business. But I think that the series will be interesting, to say the least. And then I watched, VH1 had On Silent Night, and it was a holiday, Diva Holidays. I'm not going to try to pass this off that this was great TV either. There was 2 performances that I enjoyed, and one was Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You, which was the opener, and then I can't remember the woman's name, but she sang Santa Baby, and it was amazing. Like, she has a really great voice, but other than that, not worth watching. So really, that's kind of where I'm at with that, TV-wise.
The book that I read is called Blood Defense, and it's the Samantha Brinkman series, book 1 by Marcia Clark, which is funny because I had not known this, but Andy came in the car, and a lot of times my book will come on when he's with me, and I'll pause it because he's not listening to my book. And he's like, Marcia Clark? He's like, is that? And it actually is, if you're familiar. It is, she was the deputy district attorney for the O.J. Simpson case. And she's gone into writing fiction. So she has a couple different series, as well as she had an initial book about, I think, her time on the trial and things like that. So here's a quick description of the book, because I think the synopsis probably most of the time does better than me stumbling along trying to talk about the book. It says, first in a new series from the best-selling author and famed O.J. Simpson trial prosecutor Marcia Clark. Samantha Brinkman, an ambitious, hard-charging Los Angeles criminal defense attorney, is struggling to make a name for herself and to drag her fledgling practice into the big leagues. Sam lands a high-profile double murder case in which one of the victims is a beloved TV star and the defendant is a decorated veteran LAPD detective. It promises to be exactly the kind of media sensation that would establish her as a heavy hitter in the world of criminal law. Though Sam has doubts about his innocence, she and her two associates, her closest childhood friend and a brilliant ex-con, take the case. Notorious for living by her own rules and fearlessly breaking everyone else's, Samantha pulls out all the stops in her quest to uncover evidence that will clear the detective. But when a shocking secret at the core of the case shatters her personal world, Sam realizes that not only has her client been playing her, he might be one of the most dangerous sociopaths she's ever encountered. I actually really enjoyed this. I believe I gave it 4 stars. So I liked it so much that I may eventually look into their second book. I believe just came out when I looked at it. I think it was like a November 2016 release date. So I will keep my ear to the ground and see if that pops up on Audible. I got that on an Audible daily deal. So I did enjoy it. It was interesting. I like my cop serial killer dramas, and this was interesting to have more of a law background. But with anything that somebody who's not an actual cop, like I like the Patricia Cornwall series. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. But she's like a, what do you call it? When the dead body goes and gets... Coroner. She's a coroner, but yet somehow always gets involved in, investigating this. I'm like, do they really get involved that much? Does a lawyer get that involved in like tracking down people? But I enjoyed the ride, so I would highly recommend Blood Defense by Marcia Clark. And that's all that I finished reading.
I'm reading a book called, it's a kind of a autobiography in the kind of the same vein of like Tina Fey's Bossy Pants, Amy Poehler's Yes Please. This is called You'll Grow Out of It, and it's by, I can't remember the author's name, but she is often a panelist for Wait, Don't Tell Me, or and she's also the producer or the director of the Amy Schumer show. But it is hilarious. It is really good. It's, again, in that same vein of Yes Please, Bossy Pants, Why Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me by Mindy, can't pronounce her last name. Is it It's not Calig, is it?
I know who you're talking about, yeah. But I don't know her.
But yeah, it's very good. I highly recommend it so far. I think I only have about 100 pages left and I'll be done.
Awesome. Speaking of books, we have a quick book review for you. One of our favorite knitters and designers that Kelly and I both know, yes. Sarah Burghardt Abram, has just released a new ebook, and she kindly offered review copies to both of us as well as a giveaway copy. Yes. So once we're done reviewing and once I get show notes up and everything, there will be a thread in our Ravelry group, which is Dramatic Knits Video Podcast Group, and you can tell us what pattern you would start off with knitting in the ebook first, and that'll enter you to get your own copy if you're drawn. And before we record next time in 2 weeks, we will pull for a winner using random number generator. So the book is called Squad Accessories, and it has a kind of superhero theme to it. And here's what it looks like.
It's a very well photographed ebook. There's a lot of really great detail shots and everything. I really enjoy this book. Everything that Sarah does is really, really well done. I think that her instructions, like, some of the stuff looks like super challenging. Like, you're like, I don't know about my skill level on that. But Sarah walks you through it. And even if you had questions, like, Sarah is super active on Ravelry and would take the time to answer your questions. But her instructions on her patterns are really really well done.
And they're very succinct. I really appreciate that. I think, most of her patterns in here, I think 3 pages is tops, and that includes a photo tutorial. The other 3 are 2 pages. So they're succinct. They're not more than what you need. They're not wordy. They're not verbose, but they do walk you through everything, and so we really appreciate that.
Yeah.
The first pattern is called the, would you say, Leanne mitts, right?
I think so.
Let's say Leanne mitts. And I thought these were really interesting. They have a really interesting cuff detail. And they look like this. Sorry, I was trying to bring down my brightness before so you could see this a little bit better.
I really like this, and for me, I like my my fingerless mitts when I do wear them. Like, I have a very wide palm, but like my wrist is a lot smaller, so I like how that it's gathered at the wrist, and especially because I hate when I'm scraping snow or ice off my car and I get crapola in the bottom of it. You know what I'm talking about. And I really like this. It adjusts for that.
I will say I believe all of these patterns call for worsted weight. Specifically, she used in this ebook Lorna's Laces Shepherd Worsted, because Lorna's Laces is local to Chicago, and that's where Sarah's from. So, so that calls for 2 colors of that. The next pattern is called Zelm, and this calls for 100 yards of 2 colors of worsted weight. And I believe it is a brioche hat. So that is what that looks like.
I liked this, and I also really like that it's brioche, but I like that it's got that, kind of like stripies, diagonal stripies.
I don't know if this one's necessarily for me. I did brioche, I got it, but my brain, I'm just not at that point where I want to take on that extra working, but brioche is all the rage right now, and I think it is a very pretty hat. And she has a little bit of a photo tutorial here on how to end with the hat and brioche. The next 2 I personally added to my queue. This is the Horcrux cowl, and it calls for 350 yards of worsted, 175 of 2 colors. And here's what that looks like. So it's got this lightning zigzag striping going on with it.
I really like this one, and I actually have someone in mind of who I want to make this for, because they're super into Harry Potter, and I just think that they would really like this. So that's going on the Christmas birthday list for them at some point.
The last one is called the Pop Art Pop Tart hat, and I thought that was super cute. And this is color work. It calls for 100 yards of color A and 50 yards of color B, again of worsted. And it's got, how does she put it? The Pop Art Pop Tart is a fun color work hat with Liechtenstein style polka dots and a Warhol color palette. And so you can see there the circle hats with the cute pom-pom, or the circle color work going on. So I did add this one to my queue as well to eventually be knit. So not a huge amount of patterns in this ebook, but great for gift knitting, quick, worsted weight. She has been selling people on knitting these patterns on Instagram for the holidays. I highly recommend that you pick this up. This is available on Ravelry for $14 for the e-copy. And you get all 4 patterns, and I think that's a steal. That's like, $3.25 a pattern?
It's well worth it. And really, like we said, Sarah's patterns are succinct, they're well done, and she's always available for help, too. I mean, if you run into something that you just don't, doesn't make sense to you.
And she does have a YouTube channel as well. I believe if you Google or YouTube Sarah Bear Crafts, which is her design name, that she does do some video tutorials of different techniques that are used in her patterns as well. So thank you so very much, Sarah. You knocked it out of the park with your ebook. It's wonderful. I always love her setup of her patterns and her photography, which I believe is her husband who does most of the photography, is truly amazing. So definitely check that out. We'll have it linked in our show notes, which you can find on our website, which is dramaticknits.com. So thanks again, Sarah.
Thank you.
Alrighty, let's talk stash enhancement, because, you know, as much as I like to say, oh, I'm going to be good, I'm not. But to be honest with you, I've told you about most of these purchases. I just had to wait for them to come in. So let's start with stuff that's in the way. Last week at Hand-Dyed Holiday, I did not buy any yarn, but I did find a men's pattern book that I do not own, and this is Barocco Vintage Men number 366, which looks like this. I did pick out a couple patterns in here. Not everything was my liking, but there are a couple sweaters I really liked. The cover sweater I added to my queue. I don't know whether I'll actually knit it. It's quite busy with cables and seed stitch, and to be honest with you, now looking at it, I really don't care for the texture on the arms, which I know I could switch up. But I don't know. There's a simpler one in the book that I liked as well. So I did queue this simple cardigan called Port. And again, this is all Barocco Vintage worsted weight. I think I queued these socks, worsted weight socks, because you know I wear my socks as house socks, called Keel. The next sweater I'm really in love with, and that's called Ketch. Ketch. I really like the collar and the simplicity of it. I think I queued this hat called Jib. And maybe the mitt's called Hook. I can't remember, but they're kind of nice. And then I did queue this pattern. It just looked like a really simple, comfy sweater called North. It's got a rolled collar on it. No ribbing or anything like that. So, but I do like how it's not too open, but yet it's low enough down, because I was wearing my bulky knit sweater, I can't remember what it's called now, out of Barocco Peruvia Quick, and with my beard I noticed a lot of fuzzing going on, and I do not have a gleaner. I don't have enough sweaters, I think, to justify buying a gleaner as of yet. I did queue Tiller. These are out of Barocco Vintage DK, so it's a different, there is worsted and the DK in here, and they've got a diamond pattern up the front. I don't think I queued that vest. Maybe I did, and I thought I might add sleeves onto it. This is called Perry. I just don't think I look good in vests, really. But that's it. So most of the patterns I queued. There was a scarf and I think another hat or two that I did not queue. But I thought it wasn't bad for the price. Cool. Do you want to talk about what you picked up at Hand-Dyed Holiday?
Because these are the only stash enhancement that I have. At Hand-Dyed Holiday, I picked this book up. It's called Green Gables Knits, Patterns for Kindred Spirits by Joanna Johnson. And it's released by Slate Press. I really, I've always loved Anne of Green Gables anything. So I bought this in part because there's historical photos in here, but also in part because I really loved every pattern in here. I don't necessarily think that I'll make everything, but there's 8 patterns in here, and it was $14, so I really thought that was a good investment piece. But one of the things that I want to do is I want to do Rachel's Table Runner. Ooh. Let's see if there's a bigger picture. You can see it. But I want to do that for my office because I have a low file cabinet and it's not necessarily the prettiest top. So I thought that would be pretty. But I also really love Anne's sweater. So I would like to make that eventually, and there's some kind of detail shots. And it's the sweater on the back cover. So I do enjoy that, and I look forward to knitting a bunch of that. From Hand-Dyed Holidays, I bought I think that's supposed to be Botanical, by Manos del Uruguay in the Alegria base. So I'm really excited, and Steve might get a pair of socks out of this. I haven't decided yet.
I just thought of that I pointed out that colorway to her, and I was like, I really like that, but I have the Shaken Not Stirred by Miss Babs. I don't need another skein of yarn in that color scheme.
The other thing I thought was I would make myself a boomerang or something akin to that for myself, because I'm greedy.
I'm just saying my green boomerang, the edge has worn, and I'm still wearing it, but eventually it will deteriorate, and I'll need a new boomerang.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm.
Is that that's when you knit out of
I knit out of the plaid
blanket that I got you for your birthday or something?
Yeah, and it's not like a drop stitch. It's like, I don't know, because it's single ply, the edge is kind of worn. I don't know if it got caught on a zipper or what, but it's not slipping, so I'm just wearing it until it kind of, and then I have 2 pieces, and I'll have to, oh darn it, over the trash bin.
The next skein of yarn I picked up is La Jolla.
La Holla. Sorry, it's a joke. Never mind.
Is that with you and Kelly or?
Kelly and Jennifer.
Okay. This is 100% superwash merino. It's 400 yards. This is in the Rogue colorway. But I also really liked this, mostly because it doesn't necessarily super show it on the screen, but this is a very coral colorway, and it's got speckles, and I just really enjoy this. And I think this will probably be a boomerang or some kind of shawl for me. So, and then Steve and I talked about this, but I did pick up a skein of Cherry Pie and the Showstopper base from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And with these, I'm doing pie socks. So, I don't remember it's from, now I'm gonna blank. I have the book on hold at the library. But, so what I am doing is...
Soctopus?
Yes, thank you. So, sorry. The top is gonna be nude scene. Of the ribbing a little bit, and then it's going to go into sandcastle into the rest of the ribbing, and then the foot and the leg of the sock are going to be done in this kind of cherry lattice lacework kind of lattice. I was kind of waiting for it.
I was like, there's Leading Man. Oh, he put the laundry, he's folding his laundry, so he put the basket in front of his face so you can see him.
So I think this is going to be pie socks, and I'm going to enjoy these immensely. So I don't know when I'll cast that on, but that's all I had for stash enhancement.
Awesome. The next stuff came in the mail. I did a little Black Friday shopping, as well as, making sure that I had all that I needed for my e-spinner, my Hanson mini spinner. So, speaking of my e-spinner, I got 3 bobbins for my woolly winder. 2 of them are already put together. One, could you grab that blue one? One I've already used, so these are jumbo compared to my old ones. I got 3 different designs and 3 different colors, and so I can fit a lot of fiber on here, especially with a woolly winder. So I got this kind of really deep blue, and then I got a forest green, and then I got a kapow bright green, and these are from Acreworks. They do 3D printing, and I really do not want to break these. They really put these in here. I wish they put them in a nice little organza bag with, then it's got a separate pocket for the shaft of the bobbin, but, and then I got this. Sorry, that was my phone that I forgot to put on vibrate. This bright acid green. So I haven't used that one yet, nor put it together, but I thought I would show it to you kind of in its, you can break them apart, which is good for traveling as well, which is really helpful when I have, the e-spinner that's mini and travelable as well. I don't know if I will travel with it. I know I would probably need to get a portable battery pack, which I have not looked into how much that is and everything, so I don't know how much I'm going to really travel with it. So most of the time when I'm at retreats, I want to knit anyway. Spinning's kind of really therapeutic up here in my office, in my area. So there's that. Then I follow this dyer on Instagram, and she was having a Black Friday sale, and so I decided to partake. I've also seen them pop up on my Facebook, sponsored, and so I've been looking at these 2 colorways and decided to pull the trigger. This is On the Round in their Everyday Light base, which is a single ply fingering weight 100% superwash merino wool. And this colorway is called Patina. So there's her tag. And here's what Patina looks like.
I really
Very
enjoyed that.
speckle-tastic. It's not the softest thing in the world. I think it's slightly felted due to the single ply structure. So it'll be interesting to see how it knits up. So there's Patina. That one's been calling my name. And then this one I liked as well. This is again the Everyday Light in the silver lining tweed colorway. Doesn't actually have tweed. I think she's getting at that the speckles are going to be kind of rainbow tweedy looking in the gray underbase. So there's that. So those two are from On the Round. You can find her, I think she has her own website, ontheround.com. Hand dyed, made in the USA. So check them out. I'll link them in the show notes. And then, thanks to the master enablers, the Grocery Girls, they had mentioned that Sweet Georgia, Yarns and Fibers out of Canada, was having a 30% off everything in their shop. And I was fairly restrained, especially with the Canadian dollar being what it is. I'll save myself a pretty penny. But I thought it was interesting. The box that they shipped from was from Washington, so I don't know how that worked, but it was interesting. So I don't know. Andy mentioned about them like trucking it over the border and then shipping it to save on shipping prices. I don't know. But anyway, the Grocery Girls had talked about this new base, and I've never ever purchased a sparkle yarn in my life. And this tells you how master enabling the Grocery Girls are. But this is a new base for Sweet Georgia called Cash Lux Spark. So it is an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% silver stellina. So there's 10% stellina here. 420 yards of a fingering weight. And this is in the colorway Slate, which is a great gray. And can you see all that sparkle? It's a lot of sparkle. So I paired, I think, a cowl pattern with this. And then I also purchased, I thought maybe these two would go together, I think. And then I was like, no, they're not. I purchased one of her Party of 5 packs, which I love this packaging. If I could figure it out and it not be $1 million, I would so package ours this way. But this is Party of 5 mini skein yarn set in her Tough Love sock, which is 105 yards each. 28 gram skein of 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. This color scheme is called Rusted. Love this.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually got paired this with a Sweet Georgia yarn pattern that's a shawlette or maybe a scowl, like a shawl cowl. But I love the packaging look. They've got little swatches with the colorway names of the things with the different colors. So this is auburn, birch, silver, slate, which is what I got the other skein in, and charcoal. So cute.
It is.
So adorable.
Plus, it's easy to store that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't have a project right away for it, that's easy to tuck into a basket or on a shelf or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, love that. I think that's it. All right, so what else do we have to talk about? We need to get this show on the road. All right, we did our book review. Don't forget to enter for your chance to win. That was our stash enhancement. Let's move into a round of applause. We have the charity hat knit along. I do want to put a call out. One of the winners has not contacted me yet. I think it's Kim, KMDAVI1, number 117 in the charity hat knit along. You have won a skein of Colonette Jitterbug. If you would please contact me, Dramatic Knits, on Ravelry and give me your first and last name and mailing address. I will get that out to you as soon as I can. You have until the next 2 weeks. At that point, it'll have been a month, and we will then redraw for a new winner if we do not hear from you by the time we record next time in 2 weeks, okay? All right, we have our Knitters Pay It Forward. Callie had put up a shawl for
for giveaway.
Yeah.
And it was the Stephen West shawl. It was the Boneyard shawl. It was actually one of his first patterns. And I have it here. So this is what you're getting. Sorry. And is a decent length shawl. And I reblocked it again and it won't get the point right. So I might reblock it one more time before I send it to you. And we pulled the winners ahead of time because we knew that this podcast was going to be a little lengthy just because we both had a large amount of things to share. And the winner of it was number 3. Oh, you told me how to say this. Her name's Kim in real life, and she's from Chicago, and she purchased gift cards for the homeless near her office. So,
and her Ravelry name, I believe, Kolvika.
Koga.
The J is silent, so.
So, Kim, if you can send me your mailing address, I will put this in the mail as soon as you send it to me.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, we have a new Knitters Pay It board this week. What? 2 weeks back to back? We may have another one next time as well. So up for grabs this week is my Outlier by Laura Ayler. This was knit out of Barocco something. It's a bulky weight. It's a shawl, cowl, hangs over one arm, poncho-esque type thing. Great fall colors. I know we're coming out of fall, but it'll keep you warm in this cool winter. So you can see it's got the shorter end in the back. This drapes over one side. Like knitting it, it was a quick knit. It's not going to be for me, and I don't have anybody particularly in mind to gift it to. So I thought I would put it up for a Knitters Pay It Forward. Again, to be entered, you must be a member of the group, and then you will tell us in the time frame of today, the 11th, until we record next time, what have you done to put some positivity out into the world? Whether that be just smiling at somebody and waving hi that looks like they're having a bad day, up to purchasing gift cards like Kim did, or, buying somebody's Starbucks, whatever it may be. Watching someone's kid. We've had some really great things that people have done. And so I understand, if you don't want to be entered for this, that's absolutely fine. There'll be more things in the future. But if you're interested, and just tell us what's something good you've put out in the world in the past 2 weeks. And I love reading that thread. So
kind of restores your faith in humanity as well.
All right, it's fall, y'all. That knit along has come to a close.
Yes, and we picked winners again previously, and every winner we had 5 winners because we had a boatload of people enter, so that was great. Specifically boatload. And so the prizes for these are, you'll get in touch with me, and you have your choice of any $5 up to $5 Ravelry pattern. So go ahead and get in touch with me, and I will...
Which is Calisters.
Yes, Calsters, CALSTERS on Ravelry. And just send me the pattern name that you want, and probably the pattern, or the author of the pattern, just in case if there's some close ones there. And so we drew 5 winners, and the first winner was number 131, Rose Bob. The second winner was number 15, Mystery Sewer. The third winner was number 209, Mama C. The fourth winner was, is that 161?
Yep,
Okay.
165.
Oh, thank you.
I even bolded it too.
Yeah, I know. There's a smudge right on my glasses. Number 165, Sharon the Mom.
Sharona the Mom.
Sharona the Mom. I'm sorry.
There's an A in there.
And I even started singing my Sharona when we picked you. And number 275, A Texas Yarn. So get in touch with me, pattern name, who the pattern's by, and like I said, up to $5, and I will give that to you. So congratulations, and thank you everyone for participating. I thought that was a really successful KAL that we did, and I'm looking forward to the KALs that we are going to do in 2017. So,
but finishing out the year is...
Yes. So for the month of December, you can start your project on December. You could have started your project on December 1. And you have up until December 31 to finish your project. And it is our toy knit along. So In Ravelry, it must be classified as a toy, stuffy, something along those lines. And for every project that you finish, you can enter it one time into the thread. If you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can enter that twice. And you can enter your project into the Race to the Finished Object thread too. If you have any questions on the toy knit along, feel free to earburn me in the chatter thread or send me a private message.
All right, we are going back to September. I know we're going back there. We still have a prize that has not been claimed yet again, so we redrew for Chunky Knits, 31 Projects for You and Your Home by Ashley Little, and we redrew all the way back from September's Race to the Finished Object contest, and the new winner is number 152, BRB Mom. If you would please, BRB Mom, would you get in contact with me, Dramatic Knits, and let me know your first and last name and mailing address. I'll get this pattern book out to you as soon as possible, so congratulations. Jumping forward 2 months to the month of November. November's come to a close, so we drew winners for our November Race to the Finished Object contest. If you're new, our Race to the Finished Object contest is a place where you can enter anything you finish in that particular month, and you can just put a picture that gets you an entry into our prize drawing. We usually have a physical prize as well as a digital pattern prize from a featured designer who's agreed to work with us for a given amount of time. So for the month of November, we had a prize, which is a skein of Opal Cotton Premium. And the winner of this was number 291, which is a Texas yarn. So Allison won a second time. She won for the It's Fall Y'all Knit Along, as well as the November Race to the Finished Object contest. So congratulations, Allison. Again, would you please now contact me. Contact Calisters for what pattern you want. Contact me, Dramatic Knits, with your mailing address. I know you've won from me before, but again, as I always say, I do not hold on to that information. So please contact with me, and I'll mail this out to you as soon as possible. And then our pattern prizes from our featured designer, who is Laura Linneman, known as Lala Designs on Ravelry, and one half of the Knit Girls video podcast group. And the winner of that is number 210, who is Celeste. So congratulations. If you would please let me know, Dramatic Knits, what pattern by Laura Linneman that can be gifted through Ravelry that you would like. Please let me know, and I will email Laura, and she'll gift it to you. So congratulations.
Yes.
December has started. We are now 11 days into December. And that thread is a hoppin', so anything you finish in the month of December, please put a picture into the finished object thread so that we can be enabled. And we have 2 prizes for this month. The first is a skein of Universal Yarns Saki Bamboo, which is 50% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 25% bamboo, 462 yards. Smart Yarn Self Patterns for Easy Knitting in color 104, which is Cedar Lake. And that looks like this. So this is a wonderful prize, been donated by a wonderful viewer. And this is December's Race to the Finished Object physical prize. Our pattern prize is another pattern from Laura Linneman. So thank you, Laura, for agreeing to be our future designer. All right, that's a lot of patterns, prizes, things like that. Let's talk center stage, all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. I have a few things to show you and a few things to talk about. I do want to remind you and let you know that our year in review sets will be coming for the entire month of January. We will be doing pre-orders for the entire month. We will be offering a year in review mini skein set of our showstopper base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon fingering weight. We had 10 new colors in 2016. They will be 20 gram minis, and you'll get 10 of them, so 200 grams, essentially 2 skeins of yarn, and maybe an added goodie in there that I'll show you guys in a little bit, in the next episode. The pre-orders for that will be up again starting January 1st through the end of January, and we're looking forward to. We've just started the minis on that, so we'll have a set to show you next time. I believe that we're going to be retailing those for $65. Don't hold me to that, but I believe that's what we've agreed upon. We will also be doing full skein sets of our showstopper base as well as our show stealer base, which is our merino cashmere nylon blend fingering weight. That again will come with an added goodie. And we haven't nailed down the official prices on those two sets yet. Unfortunately, we will not be offering full skein sets on other bases. It's just we can only tackle so much as two individuals who still also have full-time jobs. But we're excited to kind of do the year in review, as well as work on this goodie that is also handmade and local to us. So super excited about that. That being said, we will also have a January colorway of the month, which has been inspired by one of our good friends. I will show that to you next time once we nail it down and things of that nature. And I want to tell you, in our Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group, if you're not a member of that Ravelry group, go on over and join. We'll be doing a knit along for the months of January and February. I've kind of put this together in my mind and not told anybody about it yet. But it's going to be our year in review knit along. So if you use any of the mini skein sets for the year in review for 2016, or if you use any colorway that is in the year in review, any of those 10 colors in a project between the months of January and February, and they could have been started prior, but if you wrap them up in those months, you can enter those projects in the year in review, and we'll do probably a nice sizable gift card to Leading Men Fiber Arts for the future. So that's kind of my thought process. So that'll be kind of with Dramatic Knits, but in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group. So we'll talk about it here, but it'll be in that group. All right, let's show you things that have been added to the shop. First of all, I did a major update. We got our yarn back from Les Moutons Rouge Knittery. We did inventory, and we had a lot of Oh Christmas Tree left. A lot of it is sold, but I do have one skein of Oh Christmas Tree on Dramaturg, our DK weight base, and I have 3 skeins on Playbill, which is our single ply DK weight base. So I just wanted to put that out there, that if you wanted to snap Oh Christmas Tree, all the fingering weight unfortunately sold rather quickly. It's been a very popular colorway. But there is a few skeins up on DK if you're interested. I have put in some project bags into the shop. I have a few more to put in. Some have sold out in different sizes, but I thought I would show you what we've updated. So I've updated these. I call my red lumberjack beavers, which Callie may have ordered this and from a different company, but these are by the Silver Shed USA, and I sold out of mediums. I think I have 2 extra large. This is the size of the extra large, and it's got red lining on the inside, and all the extra large come with a coordinated color nylon strap that you can make into a crossbody or a purse. So, and these retail for $37, which is a very reasonable price for the quality that you're getting. We also have our sexy campers once again. I get this in a lot. We've sold out of the extra large, but I do have 2 of the medium. This one actually doesn't have my favorite figure on there, who's got some low-rise jeans on and holding a fishing pole in kind of a suggestive manner. So we've got this gentleman here, and then some other, hunky burly men over here. And these have the red interior as well. So there's 2 mediums. The mediums retail for $22. So I've got 2 of the sexy campers left. This one is fancy thermoses.
I do like this.
And this is in blue and browns and blacks. Very gender neutral. I don't think we've sold any of these. So 2 medium, 2 extra large with some checkerboard black and white insides. And then last but not least, we've sold out of all the medium. I believe I have 4 extra large. I got 6 of these. This, if you do not know, Anne of the Silver Shed USA has her own fabric printer and has gone to town printing a variety of things, including some knit swatches of Leading Men Fiber Arts yarn, which I'm super excited. She posted on Instagram a new swatch yesterday. But this is a neighbor's sheep local to her named Elvis. And Elvis is pretty much the most adorable thing ever if you have not seen this. And because she can print the fabric, it's not like she has to finagle with where things go. So again, I'm all out of mediums. I may get more, but I may switch up the pictures in the future. But I have 4 of the extra large. These retail for $42. They're a little bit more expensive because of the picture and because of printing the fabric ourselves. But ready? Here's Elvis.
I love this.
So what? But again, because it's custom printed, you don't have to finagle. You get Elvis on both sides.
Double your Elvis.
Hunka hunka burning love.
What's on the inside?
Just some nice
I like that.
decorative fabric.
I
And
had
again,
sheets like that when I was little.
This one comes with a green. Green. So, again, I've got, I believe, 4 of these extra larges left.
That's awesome.
So I've got a few more bags I'll be updating. There'll also be some new gradients going into the shop that I've gotten back, as well as some mini skein sets, a few sock blanks. So keep your eyes peeled. The best way to follow us is Leading Men Fiber Arts on Instagram and Leading Men Fiber Arts on Facebook. That's the best way to follow us, as well as our Ravelry group for Leading Men Fiber Arts. And of course, if you're not part of our Dramatic Knits video podcast group on Ravelry, why not? You can always find the show on iTunes, YouTube, and our website, which is dramaticknits.com. So I think that pretty much covers everything, and we're a little over an hour, but you'll forgive us.
Yeah.
It happens with 2 weeks. But we will see you in 2 weeks again, right before the holidays, or...
It's on Christmas.
Oh, so we will see you...
We can always discuss this.
Yeah, I do breakfast with my mom. Like, we go to her place, but we're in our PJs the rest of the day. So maybe we'll do a little Christmas PJ party episode. If not, we'll probably do it like Monday or Saturday. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll be right around the holidays. So if we don't see you before the holidays and you celebrate, we wish you the warmest and happiest of holidays. And until then,
We hope you
knit something,